Max, did the Jags get robbed?
Yes, they did get robbed by the officials. And I'm not just talking about the discrepancy in penalty yards. You know, they get one flag, the Patriots, for 10 yards. The Jags get 6 for 98, right? Let's set that aside and just say, hey, it's a Bill Belichick team, better coached, more disciplined. I'm willing to accept that. Although 6 for 98 versus 1 for 10, that's a little bit out of whack, wouldn't you say? But they got robbed specifically on the Boye play. That was a terrible pass interference call. The New England Patriots, with the greatest coach in the history of football by far, Bill Belichick, and the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady, who still was excellent when he needed to be, the New England Patriots are hard enough to beat without any help from the refs. They are hard enough to beat anyway, which is why they were favored against the entire league to win the Super Bowl before this season. And yet the Jags were outplaying them. And it was going to be tough for the Patriots to win this game. And without that pass interference call, I'm here to tell you, I don't think they win that game. I mean, look, the touchdown that was essentially gifted to the Patriots was the difference in the score, right? That would have been 7 points when they kicked the extra point. They won by 4, even if you give them a field goal. They really still, the Jags still win that game if you assume the Patriots somehow come up with a field goal on that drive instead of the touchdown. But that was perfect coverage down the sideline. And think about this call that the Patriots get. Everything's going the Jags' way. The defense looks good. You know, Bortles looks good early. Then down the sidelines, you have 3 things happen on that play. 1, it wasn't pass interference. That just didn't happen. 2, the receiver steps out of bounds. And 3, Brady throws an uncatchable ball. That wasn't a ball in an area where anyone could catch it. So on 3 counts, that was not pass interference, including the fact that it wasn't pass interference. And yet the Patriots get that call. And let me tell you why I think the Patriots got that call. Because Gronk got knocked out of the game a couple plays before that. And the refs were there going, well, we got to give him something. That's kind of not, it wasn't a dirty play when Gronk got knocked out, but we got to give him something. Let's give him this PI. That's what it felt like. That was a bogus call. It absolutely changed the entire tenor of the game. What should have been 14-3 or maybe 14-6 was 14-10. That halftime score should have been 17-3 going into the half. And then, by the way, the Jags get the ball back and they make it 20. Should have been 20-3. You know, after the half, it was the difference in the game, and absolutely Jacksonville got robbed.
They did not get robbed. And by the way, it's really, really nice to listen to you go on that lengthy soliloquy and never remind our audience that you actually picked the Jaguars to win this game. You just conveniently left that out. But that's a different story for another. I mean, all
that
of that
wasn't
talking
in the
you
question,
did,
Stephen
at
A.
no time did you think to come up with to just make sure while you're ready, while you're willing to explain to everybody what exactly happened. You never took the time to explain to folks. I actually picked the Jacksonville Jaguars to win that game.
You're not going to win.
Very slick on your part. Very slick on your part, but that's okay. First of all, they didn't get robbed. The bottom line is Tom Brady won the game because he ain't falling off a cliff, because he is performing, because he is that dude, and Danny Amendola is as well. They're playing without Julian Edelman. Gronk gets hurt, and still in all, they find a way. They were up 20-10. I actually thought that strip by Miles Jacks, I mean, he easily got up. I think that the whistle was premature. We understand that, but I think when you look at the New England Patriots, what we have learned is that when they can, if there is a way, they will usually find it. There were plenty of opportunities for the Jacksonville Jaguars to make plays in that second half. Offensively, they couldn't do that. All they could muster was a couple of field goals. The way I look at it is that they've had their opportunities, numerous opportunities, but they ultimately were forced to succumb to the greatness of Tom Brady, because New England had Tom Brady and the Jacksonville Jaguars had Blake Bortles. New England had somebody that could find a way to make plays to take into account the totality of a situation and do whatever it was that was required against an offense that was ill-equipped to do so. That's what this game came down to. It's not about plays. It's not about the fact that they only had 1 penalty for 10 yards. I think there was some officiating, some bogusness that was going on? Sure I do. It's a typical. Listen, this is a team, the New England Patriots, 1 penalty for 10 yards. That's only happened once in recent memory, and that was for the New England Patriots back in 2011 when they beat the Ravens as well. These are the kind of things that you know are going to transpire when you show up to Foxborough for an AFC Championship game, particularly when, if you don't have Brady, the alternative is Blake Bortles against a Nick Foles or a Case Keenum. I'm quite sure that had something to do with it as well. But if you know the odds that are stacked up against you and you still are in position to handle your business and you got a 10-point lead with the number 2 defense in the National Football League and you don't get it done, you don't get it done. It's just that simple.